Everyone, hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new subscribers. I'm so delighted to have your subscription. I hope you stay for a very long time and bring a friend with you next time. I had no intention on talking anymore about Charlie Kirk, but I believe the death of Charlie Kirk has promoted a conversation that probably should have been had a long time ago and still needs to be had. So here we are. And today I want to share my views on the disturbing use of the word assassination for Charlie Kirk. Now, a lot of people seem to be bothered by the term of assassination instead of saying he was murdered, he was killed, but somehow or another it bothers them that we're calling it an assassination. So just let me give you my views and let me tell you why I am bringing this up. Well, let me start there. I'm bringing it up because I also saw on Don Lemon's podcast, comedian D.L. Hughley, who was really disturbed by that use of the word assassination. He was very bothered by the flags at half-mast for any length of time, certainly 3 days. And he was really brazen about his views, D.L. Hughley was. I did a post on the flags being at half mast and another video regarding Charlie Kirk's passing. I'll drop those in the description box if you haven't seen them yet. But I will say this to D.L. Hughley's venom about it. In my view, and what I know of the term assassination, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like what his debates and his conservative views were. We don't have to like and agree to any of that. We don't have to even want to support any of that. But the way that he lost his life, he was certainly assassinated. And so let me just give you off the top of my head what I understand assassination to be, because I so clearly remember that from a history class many years ago. I was in college, and by which they were having that as even a debate on using the word for certain non-presidential uh, public figures, and that there was a belief that to be assassinated, you had to be a prominent in office at the time, a prominent in office elected official. And this is not true at all either. So maybe we just don't understand the term of assassination. And I'm going to also drop in the description box a search engine to result to also inform us as to the meaning of it. So an assassination occurs when a public figure, whether they're a political figure or not, so they don't have to be a standing president. They don't have to be assassinated in the way John F. Kennedy was assassinated, in the way that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. They don't have to be president. They qualify to be assassinated. Unfortunately, now qualify is not the word, the term to use. If they are a prominent public figure by which they have a message that could impact or change a standing processes or way of a country, including its political perspectives or its laws, and that the person who committed the assassination, the person who pulled the trigger of the assassination, for the assassination, had three things. They had a motive, they had the instrument to do it, and they had what I would call some sense of stalking or following their calendar by which they knew this person would be in a public setting, and the assassination occurred in a public setting. That's an assassination. Most of the time, when someone like Charlie Kirk, someone like Martin Luther King, who was assassinated, someone like Malcolm X, who was assassinated, Um, it is an intention to stop the message that's becoming so broad and impactful. The assassinator, if that is such a word, I'm saying the person who committed the act, is so emblazoned and so problemed by it that they want to stop the person because the person is tied to and is inevitable to the outcome of success by which they are speaking and which they are commanding a sense of not necessarily political, but a sense of rhetoric by which change may be the ultimate outcome. I'll put it, does that make sense? Okay, so does that make sense? So in that case, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. In that case, Martin Luther King was assassinated. In that case, Malcolm X was assassinated. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. His brother, Robert Kennedy, was assassinated. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Now, here's the thing, because we're so committed to gun rights, all of those were assassinated by a gun or with a gun. So maybe the examination needs to be on gun control yet once again. Maybe that would be helpful. As well, I thought, why is it that the united, now united means that we are together. Why is it that the United States of America has always been historically in the top 3 of the highest numbers of assassinations of any country, yet we're united? Yet we are supposedly the land of the free and the liberty of justice and one for all. Yet we carry the greatest number of assassinations. And I'll drop that research. I can do that for you too. I'll drop that link of research and data facts into the description box as well. Now, having said all of that, maybe it is a long overdue time by which we are to examine the land of mine, meaning the United States. Internal examination, points of view examination, the framework by which you examine and view a thing has to some degree or another be a consideration so that some forward progress in our ways, because it is our ways, our conduct, our behavior, our aggression, our warlike mentality. Just recently, we have changed under the guise of Donald Trump, changed the name of the Department of Defense, which has been longstanding forever that I know, to the Department of War. Well, now see, that has a totally different ring, and maybe I'll do a video on that as well. The terminology, defense and war, has a different sense of, I would say, not just approach is not the word, a different sense, and I want to use energy into that, a different sense of combustion, because I want to be defended and protected and at peace. But I don't want that at the cost of war. Do you not have other alternatives? Now, I don't want to move away from the term of assassination, so I'm just going to jot it down right now. I'll get back to that topic. I have to write stuff down, you guys. I'm a writer. I'm an author. So having said that, while we may not want to say that term, we should recognize that it's to be true. And the truth is the very thing that we need to speak, whether we agree with it or not. And so I speak this truth. Charlie Kirk was most definitely assassinated. And everyone needs to understand that because we recognize that doesn't mean we are in alliance with and agree with everything by which he has done, and may not even mean that we are in alliance and agree with how some of the recognition of that is moving forth and so rapidly. But at the end of the day, he has lost his life, and his speeches have been silenced, and his debates have died along with him, because that's the intention of the assassinator's bullet, to quiet the message. And that if someone else raises up to do that, the effect would not be the same. And boy, we know that historically to be true. So God bless the soul that has such a wicked ambition and the wherewithal of a dirty courage to follow it through. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please hit subscribe, bring a friend with you next time, and invite peace to replace the anger and disturbance that seems to be collected uniformly, particularly in our country. And I hope we all do that. And I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. I'll see you next time. Take care.